If you want to know the roots of Southern Fried Christianity, look closely at our justice system, from procurement to delivery in the prisons. You look at government as a business, as an industry focused on its own power and money, and it will put the government into perspective. Without the right people in charge of that machine that is our government, everything leans one way and everything leans another. But it's necessary because the right is pulling so hard to the right, and the left has to pull so hard to the left just to keep things in the middle on a normal course of doing business, until the American citizens create a third political party. One that's not run by any special interest. That is the Democrats' weakness. Every single faction, and I'm not being anti anybody, okay? But the problems I see with the Democratic Party is that every 4 years they have to weave together a tapestry anew, because everybody is driven by self-interest, and self-interest pretty much only. And when you've got everybody fractionalized and you got a label on everybody that doesn't say American, then everybody is fractured and isolated. Black Lives Matter, for good reason. Because when Black Lives Matter, then we can start saying all lives matter now. When you can say all Black Lives Matter, then you can say all lives matter now. But until everybody says it, you can't really say that. I get that. It's too much outrage in the black community. For good reason. They've been played like a fiddle. And they play themselves like a fiddle. And Republicans know how to play that tune. When you show anger, when you show discontent, when you show upset, it's real easy for the right, whether they're racist or not, to dismiss and discount, because empathy is, we have to limit the amount of empathy as a protective measure in the world. So, but it's such a chaotic world that it's become so much harder to empathize with anybody, especially when you feel fearful, feel under threat, feel like unreasonable people are out there. And that's what Republicans are told on a habitual basis. It's hate mongering. And, there's a lot of hate mongering on both sides. And I'm fed up with it. And I think a lot of people are fed up with it, because this goes a lot deeper than just the inherent racism built into it. There's, the inherent peasant class that is necessary in their view to fertilize the middle class, to feed the upper class, to give power to those who are first-class citizens, the mega corporations and the investors that own them. And they don't own just one. They own a bunch of them. So why do we allow trillionaires to exist? Nobody's even considering the root implications there. That we say, okay, there is no upper limit. Don't get me wrong. It's a worthy goal, but to get to the top. But if there's no place to ring that bell and say, look, I succeeded, I'm done. Now what can I give back to humanity? Or, hey, fuck you, I'm going to go buy me an island and spend the rest of my life doing whatever I want. But once you have rung that bell, then, we should uplift a life of service after achievement. That should be the goal. And nobody's telling us that, so I'm suggesting that we start telling ourselves and our leaders that. And those in power, those who are reaching to become the first trillionaire. That's that is unbelievable. There's so many countries that don't have anywhere close to that kind of sway over their own people. And we're giving these people great ideas, should be rewarded. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And I'm not to say that we should limit people's achievements. Let them go into an entirely different industry, start something new. But once you've dominated a field, it's time to step back and let everybody else learn from that and grow from that. Not just keep dominating the field. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think you deserve. I don't care what you've achieved. We all have achievements. And we all have things that we think we deserve, such as the right to follow our own dream. So, no, I'm not saying take from the rich and give to the poor, but we do need to establish an upper limit to the power that a single entity can hold, to sway politicians, governments, the world, the people. Or that's the root cause of civilization, is man's ability to recognize things beyond his own nose and create theories and test those theories. And it's no different in government. So you have to develop a new philosophy. Voltaire said the best is the enemy of the good. We've changed that to say the perfect is the enemy of the good. It's the same thing. Throwing out the baby with the bathwater is not a way to sway hearts and minds. It's a way to sway your own people that what you're doing is right. Give them a villain to hate, give them a hero to worship, and that's all you need. It's bread and circuses. However, they forgot that and they're taking away the bread. So it starts with parents and children. If we can't band together, let me tell you about charter schools for a minute. My experience with it. My youngest child, the one that went through leukemia, spent his first year in a charter school. Now, at that time, I was accepting of that. And, I wasn't questioning even at that point. And so the reason that I sent him to a charter school was I was still working. I was still running my business. And his mom had put him in one of these child care centers. And I walked in there the first day and saw the conditions that they had my son in and what he could look forward to. And I said no. I took him out. I took him out of school. And I put him in a charter school because it was less than half the price to put him in a charter school where he got his first year of miseducation. And just treat it like a better daycare. And they taught him how to write in cursive, which really messed him up in public school. They used the Becca system of education. Doesn't give their graduates an accredited degree, high school diploma. It gives them a Christian diploma that is accepted by Christian universities and community colleges. And I don't really know that having a high school diploma precludes them from getting a college education if they even know they can get one. As I was raised, you pretty much went to college to become a preacher, and that was it. By the time I found out differently, it was way too late. So the goal in this is to put a comma before that belief all the time, including the second answer you get or the deflecting answer you get, and you must stop allowing ourselves as a nation to get misdirected or deflected and decide what we want to work on one step at a time.